Hi, my name is Eddie Wilson, the founder and owner of Think Realty, the world's largest real estate investment media platform. Also, I own the American Association of Private Lenders, the world's largest aggregation of private lending capital. Each and every week, my life comes in contact with some incredible people. I want to take you on a journey as you get to see behind the scenes and learn more about them, from billionaires to politicians to media moguls and more. I'm going to take you with me behind the scenes for Titan Talk. Get ready for Titan Talk.
A Titan is one who has the ability to visualize what others do not see, the tenacity to create opportunity where others have failed, and the resolve to build empires where once there was merely empty space. Glenn Stromberg is such a person. In the investing world, mobile homes and manufactured housing have a stigma as the insignificant and secondary asset class. Many look over such a resource, but he is not. With over 30 years in the industry and thousands of transactions, he has built an empire and become a Titan.
It's hard to find in today's world someone that's authentic and trustworthy and actually does what they say they're going to do.
He cares about his company, he cares about his employees, but he also cares about our tenants. He cares about our tenants, he cares about our investors.
He's a quick thinker.
Honest.
He's a visionary.
He just really believes in the people that are in their positions that they're in.
Never met a more personable person. It's just amazing. It's amazing to work for a company like that.
All right. Well, like I said, I've been looking forward to this.
Me too. I'm really excited for the interview.
Me too.
Glenn, you have a big portfolio yourself. You've literally done millions and millions, tens of millions of deals in mobile homes. And you're also providing this as a service to investors. And a lot of investors, my friends and colleagues, come to you for that purpose because of the potential return on investment. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about that process. You know, when an investor comes to you, I mean, you know, how do you treat them? What is that like? What's that experience?
Yeah, what we want to do is we want to make sure they are 100% comfortable. The beauty of what we do is we truly do create a win-win. Mm-hmm. We create a win-win. Our price point is so much less than a single family house. Investors like that. Our cash flows are better for the most part than a single family house, so the returns are better. Mm-hmm. So it's a very simple process. I always want people, if they're not 100% comfortable, I don't want them to do it. Mm-hmm. Right? You just don't want them to do it. But sure. Most investors that look into what we do, they want to do it. So.
And you know, investors typically buy 1, 2 more lots. I mean,
we have investors
all over the board.
All over the board. We have several investors done 15 to 20 with us. We have another group of investors that done 5 to 10 with us. We've got and really what they're doing, they're paying cash. They're paying cash for the houses. It's a free and clear asset. They're doing it. The cash on cash returns are just phenomenal. They're just phenomenal on our product. And what's really been, and this is something I always tell our team. We only have 2 metrics we got to worry about. Number 1 is exceeding expectations for tenants and exceeding expectation for investors. If we do that, we don't have to worry about us. We're good, right?
Sure.
There's only 2 things you got to do business with us. You've got to be able to do 2 things or we can't do business with you. You got to be able to wire the money to the title company, and you got to be able to look at your statement every month to make sure your money hit. Outside of that, we do everything for you. We're going to buy the house. We're going to fix it up like new, do all the contractors, do all the brain, all the stuff. The other thing I think that we do that's unique too is that we property manage dollar for dollar. We don't mark up anything. Mm-hmm. And that's part of our package because we want we want investors to do multiple deals with us. A lot of property management companies, and I understand, they want to make money, right?
Sure.
So there's releasing fees, they mark up materials, they mark up, we don't do any of that. It's dollar for dollar, just what we do, because we want to provide that service, and because that's the key to turnkey investments, right? We want them to have no brain damage, no nothing, get good checks, be happy, and go do what they do.
So take me back to how you got started in mobile homes. I know you were involved with Clayton Homes early on,
Yeah.
but kind of tell me that story.
Yeah, honestly, okay, so yeah, make a long story short, I graduated college, got a job with ITT, corporate America, and I looked up and I wasn't really making any money. And I had a fancy title and everything else, and I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wasn't a corporate guy. I knew that. And so I got a job with they were called A1. A1, they were the biggest in Texas at the time, and so I worked there 2 years, and then I was promoted to sales manager and the general manager, and him and I, we decided we can do this for ourselves, and we opened up our own dealership, and then we actually grew to 13 locations. I eventually sold out to him. I had a no-compete clause for about 2 years, and then 2 years later I got the Clayton Homes franchise, which I had the Clayton Homes franchise for 15 years, and that's the company Warren Buffett bought, which obviously says a lot about mobile homes, and because he doesn't buy nothing unless it's really good stuff, and he always talks about affordable housing too. So then I saw a trend, and the trend was where all the dealerships that I had, people would come. It's like car dealership, right? You'd come, pick out a mobile home, take it to a mobile home park or their land, whatever, and so. When a home leaves a factory, it's a personal property home. It has a title on it.
Similar to like a vehicle.
Same thing as a vehicle, okay? And then when you move it to land, you can make it real property. It's just a title company function to make it real property.
Talk to me about mobile homes. I mean, it's funny because I've met a lot of men a lot of people in general that have invested in mobile homes, that have investment strategies around mobile homes. And in the investment community, it's not the most enticing asset class. You've really changed my mind about that, walking through some of the properties yesterday and talking with you over the years. Talk to me about that, because how did you all of a sudden see this diamond in the rough that no one else has seen, and then you capitalize on it?
It's the best kept secret in real estate investing. Because I speak all over the country, and I have two pictures. I show one of a single family house from the 1970s that's a metal sided house, and I always ask the question: how many people think this when they think of a mobile home? Is this what it looks like? Mm-hmm. And about 80% of the people raise their hand. And then I show one of the ones that we buy that one of the things my dad did say, he came out and looked at about 15 of my properties, and he said these are built better than a lot of the tract houses in Chicago. And they're beautiful. I mean, that's why it's a secret. There's just real estate investors just don't know about them. They're giving me a third to a half the price of a single family house. The cash flows in many cases are not just more, but in some cases double. Our investor returns are much better than single family turnkeys for the most part. And so it's because currently what we do is we buy the homes, we fix them up like new. That's the key, to fix them up like new, to have deferred maintenance down the road. We want tenants to be able to walk into them and say, man, I love this. If they like the neighborhood, the floor plan they're in, there's no excuse for them not to buy it. New air conditioning, new appliances, new carpet paint, everything's new, right? One of the things I found out that I was pleasantly surprised about was that a lot of times people prefer our house versus the single family houses. And for a couple reasons. Better price, more square footage for the dollar, more land. Like our properties are usually on a half an acre to an acre tract of land. They're out usually in the suburbs, which better school districts, and so we get great quality tenants.
To kind of go back over the differentiator between what you do and a lot of other investors do is that you buy mobile homes on land, and
Correct.
So you're looking for a home. Not just a mobile home that's inside of a park that's
Correct.
renting a lot.
Big difference.
They're actually
yes.
sitting on a piece of land. They're tied into it with a foundation or whatever the necessary means is to make sure that they can get FHA financing. And so these people are not just getting a decent home, they're also oftentimes getting land. We walked yesterday, and the one was on 1.5 acres.
Yeah.
Huge lot, and that's very enticing for a small family or a new family, or even elderly, because they're all one level. I mean, you think about just how applicable these properties are to society.
Absolutely. It gives the kids a place to play. Big yard to play in. You've got storage. You've got storage room back there. People, if they got boats, they got stuff, they can put it on there. There's some people have horses. Some people want have livestock on there too. So a lot of having the land is a big plus. And I always get asked this question. Well, don't mobile homes depreciate? And I always answer it yes and no. If it's a personal property mobile home, they absolutely depreciate, just like a car. Just like a car. If it's a real property mobile home, no, they appreciate. They go up and down with the market. Case in point, in properties that we bought in 2012 have more than doubled now. Matter of fact, the property we looked at yesterday, a property like that would have went for around $60,000 back in 2010, and now it's $135,000.
Wow.
Why? Because single-family homes have gone from 150 to 300 now. So there's always, it'll go up and down with the market, and you see tremendous appreciation, and
So tell me about your childhood. Tell me what it was like. I know you grew up in Chicago.
Right.
I knew you have a very similar upbringing as I did, and so just talk to me about your childhood.
I had a great mom and great dad, parents that loved me. Okay, unfortunately, I lost my mom to cancer when she was only 54 years old. That was unfortunate, but she was a great mom. My dad was a mason contractor, and the good thing was he was a really good role model for being an entrepreneur and working hard. He had a great work ethic. He got up early in the morning. I remember getting up at, I've always gotten up early myself, but he was already up doing blueprints early in the morning, and he worked his butt off. He also gave me the entrepreneurial bug, right? Because I remember driving around Chicago one time, and he said, see all these businesses here? You can own one if you work your butt off.
And you made this statement. You said your dad told you can own a business if you work your butt off. And it's true, but what have you learned? I mean, so I know you work super hard, but at some point you don't want to get up every morning at the crack of dawn and work till dusk just to build a business. So what have you learned?
There were a lot of years I worked 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and really when I was younger, I kind of liked it. Someone put the book The E-Myth in my hands, and when I read that book, I put it down and I said, okay, I'm going to read that again. I read it again, and it dawned on me. I go, I've been doing business wrong this whole time. and another guy, basically, in mastermind groups that I'm in and so forth, just said, it's not that complicated. Take out a piece of paper. What are you good at? What do you like? What are you not good at? What don't you like? And delegate that stuff, dummy. And it really was. I go, why didn't I know this earlier? And that's what, from that point forward, I surrounded myself with people who were great at what I'm not good at, and boy, things have worked out better. And I get to do what I love to do, and that's that. Like I said, I wish I learned that when I was in my 20s. I wish I knew that when I was younger.
In the industry, when I ask people about mobile homes, your name comes up every time. You have definitely become the go-to person in the mobile home investment space.
Thanks. That's humbling. Yeah.
Well, you're a very humble guy, and it's not something that I've ever heard you say. No. But you've been in it for a long time. But it's interesting to me because there are lots of other people that invest in mobile homes. You went from a Clayton, home manufacturer, to an actual place where you sold them, to seeing this niche, to building all these investors, buying them for yourself, providing it for other investors as a product. How did you get to scale? There's 5 phases of business. The 5 phases of business are startup, perseverance, profit, scale, and then succession. You slogged through the mud like a lot of investors and real estate investors do, but how did you get to the status you are, the size you are? Did you use a business operating system? Was there something that you implemented in your life or in your business that really helped you get there?
Yeah, and I'm going to start with this. As a Christian, I heard a guy come to our church and say, is God the CEO of your life? Is he really the CEO of your life, your business? Do you really give him top? And I was like, I said, no, not really. And that stuck with me. And so I put in my morning goals, I've got a set of, it's called God goals that I just, ask for. And every morning I ask God, I say, you are the CEO of my life. You're the CEO of this business. Lead me, guide me, direct me today. I'm going to trust that you'll put your feelings in me. And I believe it's very biblical. If we ask, he will, and he did. And from that point forward, I started making better decisions. I really did, and opportunity came. I learned when I was younger. I had a fair amount of success and made the money and everything. And money doesn't buy you happiness, right? Sure. It's nice. I'd rather make it than not make it, but it doesn't buy you happiness, right? But I was looking for more, right? And so, and yes, the answer to your question is there were 2 books. The E-Myth, like I said, that book was a game changer for me. And then Traction, the EOS system, was a game changer too. And then I read the book Rocket Fuel. This was another one that was a game changer for me too, because it talked about visionaries and integrators, right? It's everything that it said a visionary is and likes. I was, that's me. And everything a visionary doesn't like, it's like, this is what they don't like. I go, yeah, that's me too. So I go, okay, I'm a visionary. And then I was so blessed because Melissa Hamaker, who's my integrator, God put us together in our life. She's the perfect integrator. She's awesome. She's great at. So that allowed me to take my God-given abilities and to do what I was supposed to do, and then. I work on the business now, not in the business, because because of her, and I just have an awesome team. And so that's given us the ability to scale and grow wisely.
So you implement this business operating system and find the right people.
That's the key.
And then it's about letting go, right? Then it's about okay, you've worked on and in your business since the start of it. And then it's trust, right? So talk to me about your people. I mean, you value, it's obvious to me that you value the people that work for you, and that you put an immense amount of trust in them.
I do.
Is it the people? Is it the fact that you have a system and a process that everybody adheres to and a company code and culture? Like, talk to me about how those things work together.
And I always say this, and I it's going to sound funny when I say it, but it's so true. It started out with everybody that I hired and replaced myself with. Obviously, when it comes to bookkeeping and accounting, that was easy. Okay, I was no good at that. But even acquisitions, like I thought, man, I can't let go of acquisitions. Everyone I hired was better than me. I mean, it was kind of crazy. Now then, letting go of control, that's a whole other thing. That's a hard thing at first, right? And I've heard this said by many people in my life that your team makes you look better than you are or makes you look worse than you are. And there's no truer statement. I tell my team all the time, thank you guys. You guys make me look a lot better than I am. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
lots of ingredients go into making a successful company, propelling you and your company to one of the biggest in the industry. What drives you? That's another component. I mean, what is the driving force behind you? Many people I've asked will say, I want to make my dad proud. I want to make God proud. I want to make my spouse proud. Like, what is it that drives Glenn?
Well, okay, I'm going to answer it this way. We want to bring glory to God in everything we do. That's number one. Okay, that we say that's just our mantra. I say that when I speak. I say that at our team meetings, everything else. We want to bring glory to God in everything that we do. Another huge book in my life was The Purpose-Driven Life. Someone gave me that book about 20 years ago, and when I read that book, because I used to feel guilty, because I just love business. I used to think, well, man, should I be at the church, in the nursery, or should I be doing other stuff, whatever. And the Purpose-Driven Life was another game changer for me, because it made me realize this is the way that God made me. And growing a business, having fun, we provide, I look at it that I have the opportunity to keep hiring people, okay, change their lives, help more investors change their lives, help tenants change their lives, and bring glory to God while we're doing it. And so, yeah, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm doing what I was called to do, and that's what drives me. That's why, and I could honestly say, I get up in the morning and I go, yes, I get to go to work today. man, I'm excited. I can't wait to get to the office because it's fun, right? I got a great team that takes care of all the gory details and all the other stuff, and I can work on the big picture stuff, which is fun for me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've grown a lot of businesses in my career.
Yes, you have.
When I grow them now, the older I get, the more I start thinking about the things that you and I have talked about. And a titan is not just someone who grows businesses. A titan to me is someone who changes industry, who changes the way people think about it. You've talked about how you want a legacy of changing how people think about mobile homes, whether they're investing in them or living in them. But I think as I get older, I ask this question to myself a lot. No matter what business I'm involved in, it's like I'm looking 10 years down the road past when Eddie's dead and gone, and I'm asking myself this question: what do I want them to say about me? What do you want them to say about Glenn?
He was a good, honest man that loved God and loved people. He tried to do the right thing. And yeah, I hope that I'll be remembered as a guy that made a difference for the industry, made it become more mainstream, helped make it become more mainstream. And I thank you that you've given me a platform with Think Realty, American Association of Private Lenders, and also going to Washington. I appreciate that, and I told you I'm going to write a book on this. Is God the CEO of your life? Because that was the total game changer for me when I get up every morning and I say, you are the CEO of my life and of my business. Lead me, guide me, direct me today, and He does. And so that's what I hope I'm remembered for.
I think you're well on your way, because if I had to describe you today, how you described what you want to be, I already see you as that. And I know that the people around you already feel that about you. And I would add one more thing to that, and that is I've never seen someone give at the level that you give. I watch you in masterminds, I watch you as young people, young investors come up and approach you. You never say, well, I'll charge you a consulting fee, or it's always, well, let me tell you, let me explain to you. I know you've opened up your office to people, you've taken people on tours of mobile homes, I know that that's a big part of your life, and so I would say that the one thing that I would say about you is an extreme giver, someone who just loves people enough that you're going to give without expectation in return. And
thank you very much.
To me, that's a huge thing.
That means a lot to me, and I want to say this too. I want to say this. I can't tell you how much respect I have for you. You've had tremendous success at a very young age, and you're always so humble and graceful, and yes, I think the exact same thing about you, and I appreciate that in you. I really do.
Yeah. Thanks for the interview today. I really appreciate it. Thanks for allowing us to come into your world and tell the world about your story.
Thanks for coming. It's been an honor. It's been an honor. Thank you for coming. Seriously.
Greatness is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. Glenn Stromberg has shown us with the right people, the right priorities, and the right business operating system that if you have enough tenacity, you can have a successful business. He's also proven that nice guys don't have to finish last, as he is in first place when it comes to mobile home real estate investing. With a product that most would overlook, Glenn has found extreme success, and that is the mark of a true Titan. I'm Eddie Wilson. Thanks for watching Titan Talk.